Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180. 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and improve your life. Today we are continuing our series on the rules, but before I mention that, I just need to say this is episode 200. I kind of didn't believe that I'd actually get this far. I wasn't sure that we'd get this far as quickly as we have. Maybe we should have gotten here quicker. I don't know. But episode 200, welcome aboard. For those of you who are brand new to the Daily 180, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. For those of you that are old hats at this, let's get moving on. Today we're going to be talking about rule number 23. 23 is never make things worse, only better. You know, when I was having my children grow up, when my children were very young, we tried to keep our rules in the family down to very few. And this was one that we've tried to focus on and keep going, even as our children have gotten a little bit older. And that rule is never make it worse, only make it better. This is a little bit of a tricky rule because sometimes in the process of trying to make things better, things have to get worse. For instance, when I broke my ankle several years ago, it was pretty horrific, and I had shattered my ankle. It was in a sledding accident with my kids. I'll tell you the story of that someday if you'd like. And by the time the surgery was done, plates, pins, screws, half of a Home Depot hardware section, it felt like, was put into my ankle to try and reconstruct it. And for a couple of weeks, I was on some very nice happy pills. And my leg was immobilized for the most part. I would lift it up, I would keep the blood flowing, but it was inside a protective cover. You know, I was supposed to just leave it alone. And then we were supposed to start physiotherapy. For those of you that have been through physiotherapy, you know what I mean by this. We had to start moving it, and moving it was significant. I was preparing, or had been preparing, for a 100-mile bike ride later that year. And so when the doctor told me, well, we've got to start physiotherapy, I said, can I be ready for the bike ride? He said, well, only if you're willing to be really tough on yourself now. He said, but never go beyond the point where you're starting to cause yourself damage, but you're going to have to be tough. So I was. And in order to make myself better, I had to make myself a little bit worse. I had to endure pain. I had to endure some pretty significant pain to learn to walk again. But in 6 months, I was ready to go, and I did that ride. The point of this is that I needed to understand the difference between better and worse. Better long term sometimes means a little bit more difficult in the short term. But it never means that we hurt other people or ourselves or allow hurt to exist unnecessarily. I hope that gives you something to think about as you're approaching your own situations. If you like what we're talking about here on the Daily 180, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Feel free to share it loud and wide. We are trying to increase our subscriber count, so if you haven't subscribed, please do. In the meantime, go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time on episode 201.